gotta believe, dream.
I believe.
Do you believe in Cookie or do you believe in the Yeti?
I believe in both.
So that's a yes.
Yes. Just believe. When I saw image of the Sasquatch or the Yeti, I kind of envisioned the same thing. Cookie Monster's kind of a big, hairy monster. And I always felt that Cookie Monster believed in himself. Sometimes maybe he was kind of oblivious to other people's thoughts, but he knew what he liked. He liked Cookie. And he was very confident in himself. So I think this kind of stands for not only believing in fictitious creatures, but to believe in yourself, which Cookie Monster definitely does believe in himself. Put the I in believe. There you go.
So, serious question.
Yes.
Do you believe in the Yeti? For real?
I would say that I like to believe in the Yeti because it's always, good to believe in things that may or may not be. I mean, it's a little more fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's possible that this was a throwback to something that was cut off and lost, and there were actually tribes of people that were actually cut off from the rest of the world that survived their primitive ways and stuff. So, same thing with like the Loch Ness Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it was a plesiosaur that survived, because we still find creatures that we thought were extinct that turned out to not be extinct, and there's also so many creatures that we haven't even discovered yet, especially in the ocean. We haven't even explored most of it.
You ever heard the phrase, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence?
Yes.
Who said that?
True.
Do you know?
I do not know. But I think it's more fun to believe in
Fun things.
Yeah, like aliens and Sasquatch and Loch Ness monsters and
We're back to the first squiggle.
the first squiggle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, first squiggle. I thought you said first. This is not my first.
And it's not going to be your
My
last. You act like you've done this before.
A few times.
I love how you put speckles in your letters. That is so cool.
I didn't want it to be too clean. I wanted it to be a little distressed. And hand done.
Is that harder to do? It seems like it would be harder to do, You just leave those little...
Well, it takes a little time just to paint around those instead of just doing solid, but I could have just added specks on top after I painted solid, but I like to do the hard way.
Yes, you do. They look random, but they also look very planned.
They actually are planned, but random. They're randomly planned.
Mm-hmm.
The way I like things.
You were going to do this no matter if I pushed you or not. You were going to do this one? I really wanted this one.
Yeah, I was going to do it, but you did push me to do it now. I didn't know when I was going to get to
I
it.
believed.
There's two things that I kind of enjoy, Bigfoot and Cookie Monster, so put two things together.
I think it's funny, though, that people are starting to say that Bigfoot is an interdimensional being. You know, if you think about any animal that's smart, if they don't want you to see them, you won't see them. Maybe they have that ability to not be seen, and if they are, they must trust you.
Pretty much seen in remote areas which have lots of unexplored parts so that they can stay away if they want to.
I think it's crazy to only believe in things that you can see. That's not fun.
To a point. But it keeps things more interesting and more fun, and it's better to have possibilities. And how cool would it be if Bigfoot is real?
He's not causing any problems, even if, you know, either way.
Wouldn't it be fun to have lunch with Bigfoot? Unless you're the lunch.
So you actually, when you worked for the American Museum
of Natural History.
Ooh, I almost got it out all by myself that time. Tell me about how you would go on, was it excavation?
Yeah, go looking for fossils. Go.
With the scientists, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't just draw for them, you actually went out and...
Yeah, that was also a big fun part of it. I got to go out and look for some of the fossils with them. We went out west drove out across the U.S. and mainly looked in Utah, Montana, Colorado, and would go and camp out in places and then look for fossils. And found lots of different fossils. Little fossil mammals, fossil turtles. And I actually enjoyed when I found arrowheads and stuff like that. That's not what we were looking for, but I then started looking for, and I have some great specimens of arrowheads that I found out west that are beautiful, finely made, and survived. And also I enjoyed when I would see petroglyphs and rock carvings. I love those also. So it was fun.
I'm sorry, what's a petroglyph? Is it a drawing, a type of?
Yeah, it's Native Americans would like carve symbols into the stone walls.
Wow.
Various rocks, some on the ground.
Would you retrieve those?
No, you don't retrieve them.
No.
Those are protected now. They're in the walls. But I would photograph them and I actually have done some carvings that I've made of my own of petroglyphs, and then would paint it to look like the stone with the water drippings and everything on it. And I actually have some in my home. So I really loved.
Will you take a picture for me?
Sure.
What were your conditions when you would go out?
We had our truck. We had tents if we wanted to, but we just slept on the ground. We didn't need a tent.
Wow.
We just slept on the ground, and we'd stay out for a week or two in an area. And then when we would move to another spot, sometimes we would stop at a motel overnight to shower and get cleaned up, and then go on to the next.
Did you ever run out of food?
Actually, the first week or two that I went out with who was the scientist that I primarily worked for, who was also the vice president of the museum, Michael Novacek, who was an incredible scientist, wrote many New York Times best-selling books, which I was lucky enough to illustrate for him. But when I went out, we went just him, myself, and two women that were volunteers, and he had never been the one to purchase the food. So we didn't get enough food, and then for at least 2 or 3 days, we lived on wet cheddar cheese, Oreo cookies, and tequila until the rest of the group joined us, and then we went and get more food. But it was fine, we lived.
Isn't that when You got really hungry and y'all stopped.
Oh yeah, when we were going to another location, we went to, I believe it was in Wyoming, we went to a restaurant and they had steaks. I mean, we were in cattle country, so they had one that was called the Wyoming cut, I think, which was a really large steak. And they had the thing, if you can eat it all, it was free.
That's like something out of a movie.
Yeah, and they talked me into getting it, so I got it. But what the restaurant didn't know is that that was right after we hadn't eaten for a couple of days. So when they brought the plate, it was a big oval plate, and the steak hung over the sides all around.
All right, I need you to show me how big the steak was with your hands.
Well, the plate was about
Hold
this
on.
big oval, and the
Okay.
steak was about that thick and hung out over the plate.
Wow.
And I did, in fact, finish the whole steak and part of my boss, Mike's steak.
So yours was free?
Yeah, and I think my name was up on a wall somewhere there in Wyoming still.
Yeah, I am not surprised.
What are you saying?
Just not that, but just because.
I can't not finish something?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that, but that is so
Yeah.
true.
I have to finish my little problem where I have to finish everything.
I don't think it's a problem.
Well, depends on what it is, I guess.
You know why I don't think it's a problem?
Why?
I think
I
I'm
don't know.
not going
Going
there.
there? That'll make you laugh. What?
I think when you begin from an inspired place, then there's no other option than to finish. But I think a lot of people don't begin from that place, is why they walk away.
Yeah, it's always good to have
things,
follow
you know?
through, even if you. Sometimes, I mean, like every painting, I think is a little bit of a battle of, you love it, you hate it, you know, kind of. Sometimes you feel like, oh my God, it's going wrong, but. You just
Really?
gotta- just
You
gotta
feel that
follow through.
way?
Sometimes, I mean, I think everything. I mean, I think everyone has that. I was talking about that with your mom, who's a painter also, and she was saying about how she was struggling with something and she wasn't liking it and stuff. And sometimes you just have to walk away and kind of, you know, refresh your eyes and recalibrate yourself and go back again. But sometimes you feel like it's not going, but then it can turn around. But if you abandon it, you're never going to find out.
Mm-hmm. When I'm mixing music in the studio, I can get really mad at a song if it's not equalizing correctly or something. There can be all kinds of issues. And then you leave and you come back and go, what was my problem?
Yeah.
I think sometimes you're just tired.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a fresh eye or ear, in your case. And sometimes you're just too close to something and you just gotta step away for a bit. Sometimes it's also a technique they use in painting is that you turn the painting upside down to look at it again, and you'll see, because you won't see it with what you think you're, you know, the natural way, what you think, and you'll, sometimes it's easy to spot what a problem is, like, oh, that's where it's not right.
This one has a lot of fur squiggles.
Just enough to suggest fur.
I love it.
Which is why I just thought he would be the perfect Bigfoot, because he's big and furry, and that's what Bigfoot is. And then people always saying, trying to determine whether the photo, that classic photograph that this pose is from, the still from a video of Bigfoot taken a long time ago, and people thinking it's a person in a costume. And the whole debate is that you could tell with the fur how it's moving that there's muscle under there and it's not a loose suit. And although Cookie Monster has shape to his body, but I'm not sure it's so much muscle as cookie baggage. Me resent that.
I don't think Cookie cares what you think.
No, he doesn't. That's why I said he's very confident. He just wants to eat his cookies and he's happy and content and he doesn't care.
Actually, we have a little surprise cookie down there.
Yeah. That's the cookie that traveled with us everywhere.
Yes.
He traveled all over.
That's the famous cookie that's...
Sparked this in a way. This whole show. He was the beginning of it.
hanging up in that corner puppet store in the
Hamburg train station.
Yeah, I love how we finish each other's sandwiches. I mean sentences.
I'll finish your sandwich too. There are lots of squiggles in here. They look like little worms. Little slimy worm. Oscar's friend.
I don't know how Cookie feels about slimy fur, but maybe a Yeti is down with it. Somebody should come out with a Yeti shampoo brand.
I think we'll do that. For those moments when you're caught on camera, you want to look your best. New Yeti shampoo and conditioner. Trekking about the forest. Maybe that's why the Yeti doesn't want to be seen. He just needs a stylist. If his hair was done up nice, he'd be posing for cameras all the time.
All right, we need to create some Yeti products.
New Yeti out of sight shampoo.
Did you ever find any dinosaurs on your excavations? Anything like that?
No. We weren't
Anything close? That's not what you were looking for?
Actually, the scientist that I worked for, Mike Novacek, worked on fossil mammals. So he was looking for mammals. I was looking for, I'd rather find a dinosaur, to tell you the truth, but he worked on mainly little small insectivores and stuff, little tiny mammals where the skull was about that big, that long.
Cute.
And what he would work on would be the ear bone of a skull that big, which is a little ear bone about that big. So it looked kind of like a cookie crumb, I always thought. I had to look at under a microscope and draw from.
Oh, wow.
Which I never understood his fascination with that when we were out in the field. I'd rather find a big dinosaur.
There was other scientists like Mark Norell, who was out there with us too, who worked on dinosaurs. We found some turtle stuff that we brought back because there was another turtle scientist, Gene Gaffney, who worked on turtles. We found some mammal jaws and skulls and teeth and the bones and everything. For the fossil halls, I did all of the line drawings of the reconstructions of all the mammals that are on display. I mean, all of the dinosaurs and all of the fossils from mammals through dinosaurs. Or from dinosaurs to mammals.
Where are we, Eddie? On 77th? And this is the staff only entrance. We came in the back staff room, but where are we now? Ed
We're in the main entrance, and this is dinosaur is a Barosaurus, an adult Barosaurus, protecting a juvenile Barosaurus from an Allosaurus.
And what's significant about this?
I put this fossil together down in the basement of the museum, piece by piece, to send it off to a Canadian company that would make the cast to build this mount because the real bones would be too heavy to mount.
Right, okay,
Like
let's
this.
see. So it's called a Barosaurus? Barosaurus. What?
The evolution of vertebrates, and showing how cladogram works, the family tree, narrated by Meryl Streep.
And?
So I'm now going to say, since all of my drawings in this movie and it's narrated by Meryl Streep, I'm going to say I did a movie with Meryl Streep.
Okay.
And it's true.
Yeah. I love the shadow.
Yeah, the shadow was awesome. This is a dinosaur called Pachycephalosaurus, and it has this huge dome crest on its head. They think they were used for like rams, like big butted heads. And when my boss here at the museum, Michael Novacek, wrote a book called Dinosaurs of the Flaming Cliffs, and he got to promote the book on the Conan O'Brien show, I went with him and we brought a cast of this skull to the show. These are full skeletons of Protoceratops with a nest of eggs
And the explorer, Roy Chapman Andrews, who found them in Mongolia. He was also the basis for Indiana Jones. He always had his hat. He didn't have a whip, but he carried a gun.
Cool. And there's another drawing he did.
Oviraptor means egg robber or egg stealer. So they thought that oviraptors were feeding on the eggs of Protoceratops dinosaur, another dinosaur. But actually they found out when they found this specimen, why it's so important, is that the oviraptors were actually the mothers nesting on the eggs. So they weren't egg stealers, they were actually good mothers. Everything was intact, the eggs, and inside the eggs are embryos of baby dinosaurs.
Wow. What would I love?
Well, still in the same of the duck-billed dinosaurs and that family of hadrosaurs, we have Parasaurolophus, which has this big crest here you can see, and it's part of its nasal system. And scientists believe that it was used as a communication, like they would make sounds that would travel over far distances to communicate with each other. So it's kind of like the horn section of the dinosaurs.
All right, and you drew him too.
This is a dinosaur, Edmontosaurus, which is part of the duck-billed dinosaur family. And this is a mummified specimen, which was probably trapped in a sandstorm or buried somehow quickly, and it's preserved, and it has the skin still on.
Wow.
And you can see the texture of the skin as it's stretched over the ribs and the scapula.
Where are we now?
Now we are in the hole of Saurischian dinosaurs,
Okay.
which are the bird-like dinosaurs. And this is the skeleton of Mononychus, which you see here, and I did the drawing. And this is the first feathered dinosaur that was ever reconstructed, and it was reconstructed by me. And this empty space here on the wall behind him is where the painting of the reconstruction of Mononychus was supposed to go. The painting is in Brooklyn in my studio. Painted it for a magazine. My favorite of the ceratopsian dinosaurs, which is Protoceratops, and they're the most prolific dinosaurs found because we have specimens from very babies, if you see here, going all the way to juveniles up to adult Protoceratops. And there were so many of them that they call them Cretaceous sheep.
Oh, wow.
And
So
you
this-
can see there's a whole body there, upside down. And then here's the drawing I did of the little family of Protoceratops down there.
And heck. Wow, look.
And they also the ones that the Chinese thought were griffins,
Oh,
because they have the beak of a bird and everything, and they have the body of like a dragon or a
Yeah.
dinosaur, and
Yeah.
then they put wings on them for I don't know what reason. And that was where the myth of the griffin was born.
okay. You did this painting here?
This is a fossil mammal called Lepticus, and that's the fossil down there below the painting.
Below the painting.
And then I did the reconstruction of what the animal would have looked like in life, and that's the painting above it.
Wow.
Wash painting.
Look at that. Ed Heck. Where's the heck on it? Painting by Ed Heck. Oh my goodness. Eddie, what's it like to be back here?
It's like being home. I spent 18 and a half years here.
But I want you to talk about Sue.
Sue. That was a T-Rex that was, at the time, was one of the largest, most complete T-Rex fossils.
So what are we looking at?
The T-Rex Sue from the Chicago Field Museum,
T-Rex Sue. Okay, hold on.
which at the time was the largest, most complete T-Rex. No longer the case, but at the time it was. And I designed the pose, the mount, for the Chicago Field Museum. Walt Disney paid for the fossil. They paid $8 million, I think it was. And so they both have cast of the...
So how did you design it? How did that work? They found you, hired you, what? To do the
myself
pose?
and this guy, Phil Fraley, that used to work for the American Museum of Natural History on the fossil halls, asked me to collaborate with him, and we designed it and we got the job to do it for the Chicago Field Museum.
Wow, and it's here now.
Fascinating to travel and go and find something that you were a part of, right?
Yeah. And it was always fun working on dinosaurs and fossils. That's something that at one point was just imagined, but they were real. Mm-hmm. Some people don't believe they were real, but they were. Mm-hmm. If you believe in evolution.
The cool thing about believe is that you get to believe whatever you want to believe.
Yeah. It's your choice.
Yeah, I noticed Cookie has no teeth in this one.
No, because this is the more traditional, later version of Cookie Monster when he was on Sesame Street, as opposed to the early versions when he was in TV commercials where he wasn't Cookie Monster yet, and he had teeth. Although he probably could have just as well had teeth in this if I wanted to.
I kind of like how you're showing different, the different version of Cookie. I love the jaws. But I think this is the one I'd want in my room.
I think this one will make a nice poster.
My favorite thing that you gave him is his belly button.
His belly button? Do you see a belly button? This?
Is that his belly
I'm
button?
sure that's a belly button.
Oh, don't mess.
Okay, if you want it
Don't
to be a
mess with
belly
my
button.
belief. So, do you believe in yourself?
Yes.
Do you believe you can fly? I
Well,
believe I can fly.
I believe I can do it at least once.
That's good.
Who would have ever believed that we would be able to fly in planes and go everywhere? I should have put some subliminal squiggles in here, little subliminal messages.
Yeah. Give him the map to where the Yeti lives in the squiggles.
Find the longitude and latitude and you'll know where it is.
Well, if you believe something is lost, you can't find it.
Maybe that's why we can't find Bigfoot or the Yeti. If we don't really believe it's there, it's not going to be there.
Exactly. That's my point.
Ooh, I think you've solved it.
If you don't believe that you can do something, you don't even try. So it's how things come into play.
It was the hockey player that said you miss every one of the shots you don't take.
That's good.
Wayne Gretzky said that.
Well, people say seeing is believing, but I think believing
Is seeing.
is seeing. Yeah. Maybe that's the paradox.
Maybe.
belly button. I believe. That's funny. Hi, Ernie. Oh my goodness, rubber ducky, you're the one. Oops, sorry. It's so distracting in here, really and truly. Do that again. Have you ever seen this image before, Cookie Monster as a Yeti?
I haven't personally. I didn't go looking, but it's possible. Everything's possible. I just kind of had the vision when I was thinking about things to do for this. And I saw the image of the Bigfoot in this classic pose. And just envisioned Cookie Monster in the same.
So when you get an idea like that, you don't Google to see if somebody else has done it?
No. Because then why would I kill something before I did it? And no one's vision of something is always the same.
I like that. That's why everybody's reality is a little different. Even walking down the same street.
And I never know where an idea is going to lead to in the end, so I never want to kill it before it grows and let it take me in a direction it's going to take me in. Because the first part of the idea might not be the end of it. It might lead me somewhere else.
Well, you're very much like an entrepreneur, the way you are too. My dad was an entrepreneur, and he used to say that you got to keep your ideas to yourself for a while until you've really marinated them enough where nobody can talk you out of it. Because sometimes if you share it too soon...
Yeah, someone could step on the seed of your idea before you grow it.
I like that sometimes I'll ask you about something and you'll say, well, I'm still marinating, and you won't even tell me, and I like that. I think that's really cool. Because I get it.
I mean, collaboration is also good too in some instances, but it's also good to have your vision fleshed out first before.
Just in case somebody said, you can't, and you would go, no, I've already
Done that.
I've already figured it out.
Yeah.
You can't stop me.
If someone says to you, you can't do that, it's like, no, you can't do it, I can.
Nice.
I'd rather find out for myself. Because that's the other saying too. Whatever you believe you can't do, you can't. And on the flip side, whatever you believe you can do, you can. Because if you say you can't, you're done, and you can't. But if you say, how can I, then you start thinking about how can I.
Didn't you do that once? I remember you telling me a story.
Doing an art show, art expo one year,
Yeah.
where I had a publisher who wasn't really looking forward to putting the money into doing art expo because it's quite expensive undertaking. And then they told me, and this is very, very early in my career, just starting, that if I wanted to do it, I would have to pay for half of it. And at the time it was about a week away, and I have to come up with about 10 to 20 grand to do it. And I could have just said, okay, I can't do it. But instead I said, how can I do it? So what I did is I had a bunch of galleries that carried my work. I came up with 10 new images, made 10 new prints, and I went around to every one of my galleries and asked them if they wanted to have the new print before it premiered at Art Expo. And they all bought them, and I made the money to do it, and I did that Art Expo. And at that Art Expo, I picked up my German galleries and all that. That's led to many other things. So if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have had a lot of the stuff that I ended up doing.
That's why I like that story.
Yes, and that kind of convinced me of that thing of, instead of saying I can't do something, to say how can I do it? And just start thinking, how can I do something?
That's a really good question. How can I? Once you ask a question, the answer exists.
Better. He's coming into existence. It's alive.
How does this feel? I know I've asked you this so many times, but you've been waiting to blackline him for a while. Because
Well,
I made
just
you
always
wait.
finishing something that you had in your head is always satisfying. When you finally get to see your vision
Yeah.
from the initial
idea popping into my head, then the sketch, and then drawing it out, and then putting it on the canvas, and then finishing it.
What I'm loving about this whole project of doing this show, the Muppets, is something different, and I just was flooded with so many ideas. I mean, the ones that I've done so far is just scratching the surface of all the ideas I have to do. That's why I think this show is going to keep growing. So maybe this will be part one, this first show, and then it'll keep going. Just piggybacking on Jim Henson's fertile imagination.
Did you say piggybacking as in?
Yeah, it's Miss Piggybacking. I actually really feel I'm working on all these things like a deeper connection to Jim Henson, as I'm getting to kind of a little bit walk in his shoes, so to speak, dealing with all of his characters that he created.
And I love that he saw something in you as a teenager,
Well, no, I was in college.
a college student, enough to,
Talk with me.
yeah, hang out with you and not just move you along.
Mhm.
You were not part of his production.
Yeah. And actually, from that conversation, I did kind of take that thing when he was telling me about the Dark Crystal. You know, people not thinking that was within his wheelhouse and not a great idea to do that because it was kind of dark. But he said he didn't care if it was successful in that way. He just wanted to see his ideas and characters come to life. And I said that's the way I kind of thought, but it was great to hear someone else say that and say it's okay to not think that it only had to be successful monetarily or anything in order to do it. I think like in everything, balance. Some things you could do for money and some things you just do for love or for your heart or for yourself. Like this whole project or exhibition is a labor of love.
Meditating.
I'm still thinking about Bigfoot shampoo.
Berry flavored.
Flavored shampoo?
Well, you know, the smell.
Oh. Scented.
Scented.
I don't know, with Cookie Monster, flavored
Well,
shampoo
yeah.
might be a thing. I think you might have got another product in there now. It'll leave your hair nice and fluffy, and it tastes good too. So I imagine Cookie Monster would eat shampoo.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I'm just thinking of, you go in a store and you see the shampoo shelf, and then you have a shampoo that says new improved taste. Some of those things do smell so good that you want to taste them.
I'm sure children have tried. I know I tried when I was little. Didn't you try soap when it smelled really good? And it's like, wait, no.
I don't think I intentionally tried eating soap.
You never.
But I have.
I licked everything.
I've had tasted. That's why I love you. No. I've eaten paint before, like by accident or intentionally, and I tell you, like purple doesn't taste as good as you would think it would.
You ate purple paint intentionally.
Well, I used to like when I painted jackets and stuff, and I used to like kind of take my brush tip, put a point to it in my mouth, and sometimes I forget I had paint on it, and I would do it.
Oh, okay.
and then I'd be
That's
like,
not
"Bleh."
intentional.
No, I didn't do that. No, I don't intentionally paint anymore.
When they cut you open in your autopsy.
Oh, it's gonna be very colorful.
We shouldn't be talking about that.
You probably shouldn't be talking about eating paint.
Mana. Mana.
Wrong characters.
No, I got them. They're over there to the left. But I'm having trouble. I want to do that whole thing again because we didn't finish the song. I think I have the same finishing problem you have. Okay, ready? Here we go. Mana. Mana. I can sleep tonight. We're the same kind of weird.
Here's a t-shirt for you. We're in the last league of this painting.
You look good. Me approve.
Hi, Cookie.
Me going to studio today. Me gonna drive.
All right, let me see you drive, Cookie. Let's
Okay.
go. Yep, okay. Come over here, okay, Cookie? Okay, you got this.
Oh, you go slow. Does she need that mailbox?
Don't worry, that's just Miss Piggy.
Okay. I didn't want to run over a frog or anything. Drive. Close garage. Okay.
Doing pretty good, Cookie. You're a good driver. Uh-oh, Cookie, your seatbelt's not on.
Oh, crap.
I bet we could get AI to make Cookie walk right off the painting.
I'll send Jake the image.
That would be so cool. Once you finish his foot, he walks right off.
Cookie break.